right?
Yeah.
Special, a special one.
Trial.
Okay, so I'm here with my best friend.
Oh, we're recording now?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, sorry.
So
Sorry. You can start it over if you want, or keep going, or whatever you
I'll
want.
keep going because I
Okay.
don't care. So yeah.
You don't know how to start over?
I know how to start over. Just don't
What'd you
wanna-
do, steal all this equipment, or what's going on?
Trial.
What's going on, Chris? Let's have it out.
No, I'm professional that
Let's
way.
have it out.
Or if it's like, if I make a mistake, I'll just keep going. It's like, whatever, it's no big deal. It's not like the end of the world. Nobody died, so it's like, keep on
That-
going.
That's as they do on
Trial.
Sports Center.
Well, this isn't Sports Center, so no.
But that's where you learned this from, a Sports Center run, right?
Trial.
No, I don't even watch Sports Center
Why not?
because, well, A, I don't have cable, and B,
Oh.
sports aren't really like very relevant in my life right now. So it's like I don't really care about like watching some show that's about let's cover sports
Irrelevant.
on
Trial.
a daily basis.
Irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's me here taking.
You're
Go
saying the Kansas City Royals is irrelevant?
Yes.
You don't even know that they're in the wild card
Trial.
race. Are you rooting for them?
I don't care.
Chris, come on, man. That's our team, Kansas
Our
City.
team.
Trial.
Wait, okay. Some more stuff to point out. I'm not a fan of baseball, so why would I care? Why would I care about the Royals?
Trial.
But if they won the World Series, then you
Then I
still
wouldn't care. I still would not care.
You wouldn't go to Hero Sports Bar and grill
No.
with your friends and
No, I would not.
do a big cheer when
No.
when they win,
No, I would not.
just like in Cool Runnings
No, I would
Trial.
not.
when the Jamaican bobsled team finished in the Olympics.
No, I would not.
You wouldn't do about exactly that.
No.
Well, I would. I'm not going to though. Probably do something else that night. But anyway, sorry.
Trial.
I'm sort of dominating the conversation now, aren't I? So maybe you can fill over and in.
Well, I was going to start from the beginning. Usually do like an introduction of like who you are, of like who is like
Who is?
like just like
Trial.
I'm Chris Adams. This is my channel on YouTube, and I'm joined by my best friend.
I'm William Owens. Oh, I'm supposed to, sorry, I'm William Owens.
Trial.
Am I supposed to have like a moniker?
No, it's cool. But I was just gonna say like
Trial.
we're gonna do vlogs. I was like, okay, sure, whatever. So now we're doing a vlog. And
Well, whoever I am, I'm dying at Final Fantasy right now.
are there any pressing issues you want to discuss?
Yeah, I'm
Trial.
dying at Final Fantasy. What am I supposed to do? And I didn't save it before I defeated the last boss. Talk about a pressing issue. Good God.
Trial.
No way. Did I?
So like, I
Trial.
guess you could like say what's going on in Final Fantasy right now.
Well, it'd be nice if we could take the camera and show it to the screen, but I don't think we can. I don't think we really have our technology to take it that far.
I could do that, but
Trial.
that PS3 is hooked up through HDMI, so I'd have to like hook it up through component, and then I could do that. But then I wouldn't be able to have us in the video. It would be like on the gameplay and us commentating over the gameplay.
Trial.
Can I?
There like is a way to get like picture in picture, but I haven't like worked it out yet. Like for some reason my stuff doesn't work up when I hook it up to where it's like it let me. It
Oh,
should
man.
like it should give me that option, but it doesn't give me that option. So I'm not sure what's up with that. So is there anything else besides the Final Fantasy
Trial.
or 12s that you
Well,
want?
I still. Well, Speak of the devil. Now you asked about it.
Trial.
I actually just made it out, and I just made out of that little skinny situation I was in.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't, I didn't experience the game over in Final Fantasy.
Trial.
As
Trial.
those of us here who are familiar with Final Fantasy are not familiar with Final Fantasy, one way or the other. Or for that matter, other role-playing games, be they massive
Trial.
multiplayer online or not. You make it. You have the zone, and you make it outside of the zone, and then the
Trial.
monsters are not there.
Well, that's not always true because 12 is different from like the other ones. that-
Well, and this one, it is. I zoned out through the ancient door.
Yeah, I'm just saying like not all of them are set up that way where it's like
Trial.
you can see the monsters on the field.
I think generally they are like that.
I would disagree. I would say like
You would.
I would say like traditional JRPGs until like 2000 something circa that time had been just like you're
Trial.
walking around, and then oh no, the screen explodes, or there's some crazy epic music that starts, and it's like dun 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 dun, and then, like it's battle time, and then like the enemies appear, and it's like oh man, dun 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 dun, and then it's like oh
Trial.
man, and then you gotta like fight them. And then after that, it's like dun 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 dun. Well, Final Fantasy always like dun 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 dun
Trial.
dun 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 dun, and then it's like you're out of the battle. And it's like oh okay, so
That's a strong argument to make, Chris.
yeah.
Trial.
And you don't even really play. If I can just say it, you don't even really play RPGs that much.
Whoa.
Most of the time, what happens is I play them when you watch.
Trial.
That's
You
like,
support, you know.
that's okay. That's not 100% true because there's other games I play.
All you even know about is the music. You know, when you just said something about Final Fantasy VII, what you really talked about was the
Trial.
music of Final Fantasy VII. You didn't even talk about the actual gameplay.
Okay, let's
Chris?
let's go by a number.
The Tekken Master.
Trial.
Number of fingers on hands. How many games in the mainline series that are numbered from 1 through
Trial.
14? Because 14 just came out. But okay, 11 to 14 don't count because they're MMOs. But outside those, like of the mainline series,
Trial.
like how many have we played / finished? I've played.
We played this finish.
I have played. Well, okay. I'm gonna start with how many I finished first because I haven't finished that many. So it's like 7, 9.
Trial.
Okay, 7, 9, 10, 10 to. Okay, I've only finished 4. Big deal. But okay, 3. That's 5. And then I
Trial.
played. Okay, I've played all of them. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I haven't played 5.
Trial.
6, 7, 8. I got to the very end. I just haven't finished. 9, 10, 10 2. And then I played a bit of 12 and then 13. So that's 12 out of like 14.
Trial.
So how about you?
How about me?
Mr. I have no experience in RPGs. Because I never play them.
Well, you don't even really play like EverQuest or World of Warcraft, so you know.
Okay,
Trial.
it's kind of like apples and oranges, dude. Apples and oranges, dude. Like, we can go on to the MMOs after this section, but specifically, Final Fantasy, dude. Final Fantasy. Numbers of
Trial.
fingers.
We
and
can't
stuff.
talk about RPGs in
Wait.
I'll just pause my game for a second. Let's talk about it, in RPGs. It's not a surprise to me that we're having this disagreement right now because in the online RPGs, the issue of zoning and running from the monster, zoning out to avoid dying from the monster when you don't want to,
Trial.
is, seems to be a more central issue in the online RPGs than it is in the single player console RPGs. So that could
Trial.
explain why we're having this disagreement between us right now, between myself, a person who is very experienced in online RPGs, and yourself, a person who is
Trial.
perhaps less experienced in the online RPG and more experienced with the console single player role playing games.
Okay, I'd agree with that statement because the only MMOs I played a bit of EverQuest 1, mostly at your house.
Trial.
Actually, I think it was all at your house.
You played it one time?
No, not outside of your house when like you were playing it back in the day. And then let's see, what else?
Trial.
I played World of Warcraft for like a week. I was like, this game sucks, and then I stopped playing it. And I was like, well, I played Guild Wars for like a couple days, like a day, a couple hours. I was like, Guild Wars, it's free, whatever. Tried it out. Oh, actually, there was Shin Megami Tensei Online. I played that, so that's like what? 4?
Trial.
That's like wow, EverQuest, Shin Megami Tensei, Guild Wars. So that's like 4.
Trial.
Man, I need to move the camera. We can't see my hand. But yeah, that's okay. 4. My right hand. Okay, so that's 4. And I guess you played
Trial.
like way more than me. So
I played EverQuest for like 2 years.
Okay, so you have the experience. Cause like I don't have like the time that I put in.
Trial.
So I'll give you that on the MMOs. But it's like, dude, MMOs, my opinion, they're a different experience that I do not wish to have when I play them. Because like I play them and it's like, something's missing, something's off. They may be similar in like the elements they bring to the table as far as like gameplay, yada yada yada. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like I want some crazy, epic, deep, cohesive story. Usually with like crazy
Trial.
Japanesey characters, which is like why I like RPGs, and like let's go on some adventure and save the world. Yeah, I don't want to be all like on some
Trial.
server being like, hey dudes, typing in the chat log.
Ev-
Join
Ev-
my
Ever-
party and
Ev-
guild. We need to team
Trial.
up because I can't do this alone.
Or EverQuest and Warcraft are not Japanese,
Well, I'm
Trial.
just. Well,
They're not
yeah.
like you're talking about, that's a good point, It's a good point to make. But they're also, I think another problem
Trial.
is that they're not really set up the same way, like in the Final Fantasy 7 and most of the Final Fantasy games, you know, admittedly,
Trial.
when there's a skirmish, you know, it changes to like another screen. You know, it does that, you know, thing like that,
Trial.
and then you're on like another screen. But then
I don't think it's exactly like that for sure.
it's about like that. You know, but you know, Final Fantasy 12 is more similar.
Trial.
You know, for those of us who have played it, is more similar to, you know, even like, you know, EverQuest and stuff where, you know, there's like you meet, you know, it doesn't change into another
Yeah.
Trial.
thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So that's why it becomes an issue to try to, you know, if you're about to somehow.
Oh, I forgot to say Final Fantasy 13. So that's
Trial.
actually, you know, I forgot to add that on top. I got to the end of that one too, close to the end. It's on YouTube. It's on my channel. Like
Mhm.
where I'm stuck
I've
at. on
seen it.
some
I've
stupid
seen it. It's
boss.
on the channel.
Yeah, it's on the channel.
Trial.
You know, but I have not played that one yet. So hopefully by the end of, you know, within a few hours after completing this, you know, after
Trial.
playing through Final Fantasy 12 another time, I think I'll step up to,
Trial.
you know, 13. Right?
Speaking of 13, you never got around to saying how many you've played in the mainline series. You just
Oh,
like,
the
you just
Final
avoid the
Fantasy?
question. Yeah.
Well, I don't have
Wow.
a home console at my house anymore, so you know, it's like I'm at a handicap. You know. But I don't know what do you mean, like which Final Fantasy games have I played and how far am I through them and stuff like that?
Trial.
Or which ones have you played and which ones have you finished?
I finished 7, 6,
Trial.
and 12. And you know, I'm playing the 5 and I'm sort of, you know, close to the end. But that one is like really weird and I keep having to like stop and try to think
Trial.
about what's going on in the game because it's all this weird, complicated kind of stuff. And then, you know, I played the first one. I played the third one.
Trial.
I played Final Fantasy 4. I don't remember.
Trial.
I mean, I think the only one that I haven't actually, you know, ever like seen and played is 13 and
Trial.
11.
Hmm.
And but 14 is not out yet, is it? Yeah, it is.
It's out.
Yeah, but then there was all those like issues. Apparently,
Trial.
Supposedly they fixed it 'cause it's really good from everybody. It says it's pretty good. That's playing it now. So
You were playing it?
no, I'm not playing it.
Trial.
I have friends who are, and they're like, "Oh, it's actually pretty good." So
Yeah, okay, they gave it an approval.
yeah,
You don't
Trial.
have you don't have that game?
no.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I haven't played it yet. See, I
Trial.
haven't played any of the SquareSoft multiplayer online RPGs.
Oh, they're called Square Enix now.
Square Enix, so I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Just move so fast for me, you know? Move so fast.
Trial.
So, you know, I forgot to announce, you know, the reason that we are so honored to have an extra video log
Trial.
by our friend Tekken Master is, you know, just to celebrate and observe, you know, and make them look bigger that I myself, you know,
Trial.
oh, I need like a fantasy name, don't I?
You don't need one.
I forget what it is. You know.
You can come up with one later. It's cool.
No, I can just I got one
I can call
already.
you Hollywood.
Hollywood?
You just use your existing
Trial.
one.
No, I have different names everywhere I go. I have one I can use for this, you know.
Okay,
You ready for it?
sure.
Ramses the Second.
All right. So
Yeah.
what were you saying?
Trial.
Oh, just you know, the occasion why we are so honored to have another, if I may go ahead and, you know, say it, you know, for the group, you know, that we have honored to have another additional video log from the Tekken Master is that, you know, the Tekken Master's
Trial.
friend, Ramses the Second, is tonight enjoying himself not in the clutches of the criminal justice system of the city that he lives in. You know, as some of us may know, not too long ago, you know, fortune is told that, you know, Ramses had to spend time in a behavioral health center not far from where we're meeting tonight. So, just if we may enjoy ourselves, enjoy our occasion,
Trial.
you know, when we're together and one of us is not spending time in such a, you know, behavioral health center, we are enjoyed with this occasion tonight, and we may, and you know, hope to enjoy ourselves
Trial.
for the remainder of the evening.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Tekken Master, you know, how often do you do these video logs that you got going on? Since you're not paying attention to baseball and the Royals and
Trial.
everything going on with A-Rod and
I saw
Verlander
something
and
about.
everything.
See, it's weird because like I only saw something about that because I was like out of town, and like when I'm out of town, it's like I
Oh, yeah.
use the traditional media
Trial.
that's outside the internet, and it's like, okay, this is like a whole whatever. We're touching on it, so I'm gonna go there. So basically,
Trial.
it's like when like back in the day when I like before it was like all internet all the time. It was like I might watch TV a bit, but then it's
Trial.
like it's all depressing stuff. It's like making you sad, making you scared. It's all like oh man, I don't want to go outside. So it's like I was like, there's some stuff about
Trial.
A-Rod. It's like, why is it in the news? Not really important in my opinion compared to like what else is going on in the world.
Well, I can see it as just such a controversy myself because as you know, that he was one of the players that were suspended for that really
Trial.
long amount of time, like 150 days, 180 days for being accused of using steroids. But then what he did, he appealed. Like I think they tried to give him a longer sentence than some of those other guys, but then he appealed it and brought back in. And then during this time that he was, this extra time that he argued for himself to keep playing the game, he kept playing and hit a grand slam, and now he's like the all-time grand slam record leader.
Oh.
That's just fascinating to me. But if we're on the subject of baseball, I would just have to say that if we're talking about the American League wildcard race, I'd have to say that I hope the Royals keep doing what they do, keep pulling it out.
If it was any other team, you wouldn't care though.
What?
If it was any other team, you wouldn't care
About what? About them?
about the wildcard race.
Well, you're supposed to root for the local team, Chris. Come on.
Says who? Like, how's that a rule? I don't understand that. I don't like the Chiefs, and like they're
Trial.
doing good, but I'm like, F them.
What? I mean, it's your power democracy, because
Trial.
if you don't like that team, we can change it and make it another team, to suit you.
Like just when like WC's doing good in basketball, it's like whatever, dude. It's like I
Trial.
don't. It's like I will.
Who?
I will be like. They will be in my thoughts, but I will not be like,
Trial.
all right, go Wichita State, Shockers all the way, woo.
Oh.
Because it's like, come on, dude. Like in my brain, I'm just like, dude, it's Wichita State. It's like, come on, they're not gonna win.
Well, the issue there.
And then they don't. I'm like, all right, see everybody. They get all excited,
Trial.
and jump in the bandwagon, and be like, woo, yeah. It's like, come on. Like, you really think they're gonna win?
The issue there is that winning was such a surprise,
Oh yeah.
Trial.
That's true.
right? Like who shocked the
I
world.
guess, I guess like a secondary thing is like it's also like good for the city. It's like
Yeah.
like morale that the city's
Right.
high, so it's like it's good for that.
Right, have like a nice, who knows if they had actually gone through and, pulled it out over
Trial.
Louisville, who knows what could have happened, could have had a nice little parade,
A nice little parade.
or a nice big parade, whichever. I could have met a woman,
Trial.
I could have been married and, had like a real life right now,
Trial.
to spend the rest of my life with, just, what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about. You're
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm just,
you're making it seem like
Just
a
a
what if
hypothetical.
scenario. Of,
What?
like, you're making it seem like a what if scenario of like if this
Trial.
happens, like some sort of like weird causal scenario of like if this happens and this might happen. It's like, but that's not really the case.
Yeah, but stuff like that happens every
Trial.
day. It's just,
Yeah, but I tend to try not to think about it too much or overthink it. Like some like weird butterfly effect of, oh man, if I would have did this, that would have happened, or if I didn't do that, and that would it all
Trial.
affects everything. Crazy tea leaves going on. Too much going on. Too much.
I'm just talking, I'm just talking, Glad to be on the show. Glad to be
Trial.
on the YouTube.com. Glad to be here.
On the YouTube.com.
Some of you may know I have my own videos on YouTube because I'm a, artist.
Oh yeah, I'll put a link in the description. Yeah.
Oh, might as well, DJ Symphony, I'm an artist in today's society. Got my jazz songs alright. Got my
Trial.
hip hop songs alright. Got my guitar I play, Got my stuff that I do. So, if I can just be here, just be myself,
Trial.
Glad to be here. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Babe, actually, like the news and why
Trial.
traditional media is terrible. Well, I guess okay, it's like
What?
as I was saying back to like the news and why the traditional media is terrible. It's
Trial.
really weird. I was watching this documentary yesterday on Netflix. I think it was called Miss Opportunity. Let me look it up. But basically, there's a point they made.
Trial.
Like, like that I'm about to get at. Is like there's like a point that they made was really good, where it's like somehow, like within the media, like the last like very recently, a couple of years, it's like you've seen the creep of like
Trial.
celebrity stories or gossip news. It's like going like on national news and like like mainstream like, cable channels. Why is it there? That's important. Why are you hearing this stuff? That's a good point. But it's like to me, that's just like another cherry on top, or not cherry on top, but like another reason on top of like why I do not watch TV or have cable or like ever go like ever cutting my cord and like watching that junk, because it's like it's getting worse and worse, man. Like yeah, it's just like Nightline like recently added this segment called, well, this is gonna like tie in what I'm talking about, but basically they added this segment called like I think it was
Trial.
Oh, I don't remember. Basically, it's like the top stories like from Twitter and other social medias, and it's like, oh, let's talk about this on the news. And like, yeah, it's like something that is like popular that will get you views maybe, but it's not something that's like deserving of a national platform on major TV network to be discussed about in a program. So it's like, man, it just irked me. I'm trying to find it on here.
I don't understand what you just said.
Trial.
Okay, so you have these news shows and these news cable stations, and like their basic job is to get the information from, or like report news and information. However, it has been subverted by like whoever is like like the directors and producers of those shows, because they want to get more views and ratings. They're running stories that are completely not relevant, or just not like they don't have as much important stuff going on as like what they should be talking about, like how honeybees are dying, and like because they're dying they can't pollinate food, and because they're not being able to pollinate food, our food supply could be like in very very steep like problematic situation in like the next however many years, and we won't be able to like make food, and then we'll be killing each other over food and water because we're running out of food, and it'll be like, oh, you got to compete over resources now because no more food because there's no more bees, and then again or just like the whole it was weird. It was really weird. Like, okay, so do you use Twitter? I don't think you do.
I do.
Okay, so basically it was really,
I mean, no one uses it back. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So do you use Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really weird.
So like, no one uses Twitter back to me, Sad note, I'm sorry, but I use Twitter.
But like okay, but like
I must be the only one doing it. But
okay, so basically, we had like a situation recently when we were about to like bomb Syria and be like, all right, dudes. Obama's like, all right, dudes, like I'm gonna go in and do this unilaterally if you do not join me. And like I went out to my allies at the G20 summit or whatever it was, and like they were like they're not all on board. So it's like we might have to do this on our own. But then it's like, okay, well Syria backed down because they're like, oh, please don't bomb us, and then like we didn't have to bomb them. But then like that was going on, and that was like a major issue at the time. But then there's like this whole like Miley Cyrus thing going on where it's like, oh, she was twerking on the VMAs, ho ho ho, and then like that was like all over the Twitter sphere, which was like it was all over Twitter, all over Facebook, and like all over social media. It was, like, that was like the only thing people were talking about is like if you looked at like that from like looking at that like of like, oh, what's the pressing issues of our time, and it'd be like, oh, look at this white girl dance up on stage shaking her booty. It's like that is not the pressing issue at the time, dude. It's like stuff's about to go down in Syria and people are getting gassed, and like something needs to be done about this, and like nobody's talking about it.
So you're saying they tend to be reporting a kind of minor issue.
Yeah, compared to like what is like really important and like what needs to be discussed and like stuff like that. That's why I hate the modern media of like and like the media cycle. I'm like, oh, just. Well,
I'll tell you, I was watching the news today. On this day. What's the date of today?
It is the
24th, 9/24, 2013. It was a really. I was watching the news on CNN because my internet wasn't working, and it was just a real weird day. All the stuff they're talking about, it was weird domestically and weird overseas because, you had this thing with like Obamacare, and all this weird stuff they're trying to say they're going to make everybody have health insurance, and then somehow beyond that, they want to shut down the government in like 6 days.
Oh, dude, that was
whatever.
Crazy. Like, okay, so about the sequester that's like going to be happening because.
I mean, what does that even mean? Excuse me. If you shut down the government, like what?
I think it just means like they stop funding everything that's like public programs that's like are like provided by the federal government. I don't know. I need to look at.
Like, has that happened before in American history?
I don't
is this
believe.
Just like a thing they keep trying to.
I don't believe so, but like, it is weird because like back before this happened, like when we had this happen the first time with like the whole fiscal cliff and
Trial.
blah blah blah, and like they had to work out the deal with the Republicans or the Democrats and Republicans had to like work out a deal, whatever.
Trial.
It was like it seemed like okay, yeah, we totally won't do this again, and then here we go. You know, the budget needs to get passed, and they're like, oh, we're not going to pass the budget unless we cut this out, and then by not passing the budget, we're going to basically repeat what we just did 12 months ago, however long,
Trial.
and F up the whole democratic process that we're supposed to have in our great country. But they're like, ugh, it's like, yeah, it just makes me angry. Like every time I see that.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, hopefully that'll just be, you know, my hope is that that'll be
Trial.
something they just talked about, and then, you know, by the time we actually get to it, it'll seem, you know, just sort of, you know, if you had died away, you know, like we don't actually go through it, that
Trial.
we're not actually, you know, just even the sound of it, government shutdown, you know, what is that? That's
Trial.
sounds weird. Government shutdown.
Sounds weird.
You know, then on
Trial.
top of that, you know, the things that were going on in Kenya,
Yeah.
I think sounds really dangerous. I hope those people are doing all right. You know,
Trial.
It's called global terrorism for a reason, because you're not safe anywhere. So yeah.
Trial.
who knows? And then there's all this controversy with the Iranian president,
Trial.
or the Iranian political situation. Controversy over
I
there.
didn't see that. Like what? I saw the clip and whatever.
Oh, I don't know. I think
Were they like, somehow about to get dragged into the Syrian conflict?
no, it was more like they were talking about just America and Iran
Trial.
by themselves. They're talking about how, like Jimmy Carter was apparently the last American president to meet with,
Trial.
or maybe even before that, to meet with a head of state of that American and Iranian head of state had met with each other, and they're just, you know, bitter ties with the United States.
Mm.
Bitter ties.
Trial.
But maybe they did actually meet with each other
Trial.
as of late.
Okay, so let's see. What's the next topic we should discuss?
Next topic.
Trial.
Or wait a minute, let me see how we're at a time. I make this. Okay, we could like take a break here and then come back with like part 2.
Take a break.
because we're almost at like 30 minutes.
Trial.
Because you know on
fine.
YouTube it's like a thing where it's like you don't make the videos too long, dude, because you know nobody will watch them or something.
I'll make it as long as I want.
Okay, fine, keep going. That was great.
Trial.
Is that what you're supposed to do? Is take a break?
No, it's not what you're supposed to. I'm just saying, you know, if you like,
Let's
it's
do it, let's
basically,
do it,
it's
let's
basically
do-
just like, you know, it's like a design philosophy of like, you know, we can have like a 3-hour movie of
Trial.
James Cameron epic storytelling, blah blah blah, or we can take like the Deathly Hallows, Harry Potter, and
Trial.
other major blockbuster approach of like we're gonna have a movie and split it into multiple parts instead of having it into one ginormous chunk of time
Trial.
that you can just sit down and watch.
I mean, do you usually take a break when you do your video
Yeah,
logs?
yeah, I always do like 3 parts.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it just you know,
Alright, we'll take a break here and come
just
back
like the Technomaster
with
does it.
part 2 of
Trial.
unnamed vlog series after this.
Tekken Master with special guest Ramses II.